Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. You're joining us on the YouTube stream. Hello. Wave, just wave at them. For fuck's sake, wave at them. That's why they're here. And if, of course, you are listening to us as well on Spotify, SoundCloud, or iTunes, or any of the other podcatchers, thank you very much. You are definitely in the overwhelming majority, and we thank you for that. We had a great week of very many people listening to the podcast, which is phenomenal.
But yeah,
lots of listens. So thank you very much for that. Streamers, maybe try listening to us afterwards. I mean, I don't know. Let's get passive aggressive.
Strangely, we're big
now.
in Denmark, I noticed, and they're playing England right now. So I'll keep my mouth shut.
They are, and at this current stage of the night, Denmark have scored one goal and scored an own goal.
Yes.
So they've helped and hindered us. Well, not us, but the English football team. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We are going to be taking a look at our favourite workplace sitcoms. So that is sitcoms that are based in a workplace or have a workplace as their central kind of location, theme, etc. You know, think things like, I don't know, Scrubs, Parks and Recreation, etc., etc. But we'll be getting to the nitty-gritty. Anyway, before we get onto that, let's introduce ourselves. Russ, hello.
Evening, Tom. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. That was fantastic. That was the 5-second delay, just in case you swore. Thanks.
Hello, Warsaw.
Hello, Warsaw. And hello, Dan.
Tom, you said you lost your keys.
Did I lose my keys?
Yeah, I just wondered if you'd checked everywhere. I wondered if you'd... Have you checked your
I love how you just couldn't even try to get him to say that he'd lost something naturally.
No, couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't wait. I'm doing this straight away. It doesn't matter what he says.
That video has dominated my life this week, so yeah.
It is.
Have you watched it yet, Tom?
Such a banger.
I haven't watched it. I have no idea what that is.
Tom, we're watching it straight after the pod.
Okay, we're going to watch
I'm
that
watching you watch it.
Yeah. Nothing makes something seem funnier than somebody else angrily staring at you to make sure you laugh at the right points.
It's funny bit. Tom! Yeah.
This is also what I imagine will eventually happen with The Expanse, that you will stand over me
through the
while
window.
I watch it. Yeah.
It's a good bit, Tom.
Yeah. Turn it on. It's on Prime. God. Anyway, Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hi. Sorry. Yes. Hi.
And I am Tom. And let's get down into the thick of this. And as I said, we're going to be looking at our favourite workplace sitcoms. I'm going to hand you over to the man, Dan.
This was Russ's idea.
I'm going to hand you over to the man, Russ.
Yes, I mean, I don't really know if there's much in the way of structure to this, but basically I've been watching a lot of Superstore and the US Office of late. Superstore is our main sort of evening project. We'll knock off 2 or 3 of those of an evening. And the US Office is my current doing the washing up telly.
Can I interrupt you, Russ?
You can.
It's been brought to our attention that the stream is still called News.
Is it?
02 July.
I mean, I don't care. When you set one of these things up on YouTube, it does seem to sort of reset what it's called. Can I rename it on the fly? I sort of doubt it.
It's fine. If you're watching, that's not what we're doing. Russ was explaining what we're doing.
Somebody's got a fucking problem. Fucking deal with it, won't I?
He doesn't have a problem. He's just pointing it out, Russ. It's actually been quite helpful.
Workplace sitcoms. What's the date today? Fucking... You try and do something nice for people. Unbelievable. Right.
Yeah.
Refresh it, you ungrateful little shits. And that should be updated. Anyway, so workplace sitcoms. So yeah, it just sort of got me vaguely thinking in a sort of mad rush of what the fuck are we going to talk about tonight? That it's such a sort of since it's really sort of exploded since the UK Office. It felt like you couldn't move for fly on the wall mockumentaries, but the concept of like the workplace sitcom has been around a lot longer than that. Probably before, the term workplace sitcom was a thing. I thought we could just chuck out some of our favourite examples and probably have a good row about whether things are or are not workplace sitcoms.
Yeah. Yeah, like we did earlier. That ended completely on a completely different subject. Yeah.
like for instance, I would say, so I've got a pencil here because I want to make some points.
He's got a pointing
tonight.
pencil.
A pointed pencil. Like Frasier, for instance, while we love it absolutely to pieces, we did actually have a very nice gentlemanly almost agreement that it technically isn't a workplace.
Yeah, I don't think it
sitcom.
is. So what are we
No.
looking for as the core things that make, like, it can't just be that people have a job. What makes it a workplace sitcom?
The workplace has to be intrinsic to the storyline.
Yeah.
It's almost like it has to be that the characters would rather not be there. They would, at most points, they would probably rather be off doing something else.
They have to be working.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid, but there has to be like. So this is where
Even though
I
in
say
a workplace sitcom, very little work tends to actually get done most of the time. But they are there at their jobs, and it's about how their job affects their life and how their co-workers affect their life.
So
quick one. I think the best definition of it. Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
See, I'm struggling with this one.
Yeah,
I think it's borderline, but actually probably not.
No, but
because they would go and hang out at a skeezy bar like that, even if they didn't own it.
Yeah, they originally they were meant to be actors, weren't they? So.
Yeah, I mean that's the point, isn't it? Paddy's Pub is usually the place that they leave to go and do one of their schemes, completely unstaffed, with whoever the regulars are. Just
I do love that. There's always a couple of customers in, and they'll just be torturing someone, setting fire to something. They'll just fuck off, but there are still a few customers in.
It's like
they're doing all these things while they're open. We're just devolving into just
I've got to, as much as I love it, I don't think, and we're going to be quite strict about this, I don't think Always Sunny counts as a workplace sitcom.
Neither do I.
No,
neither do I.
No,
I'm cool with that.
But
despite the fact that
staying in the wheelhouse of Always Sunny, I think most of us have recently enjoyed Mythic Quest very much, which I would have on my list as an absolute top-notch workplace sitcom.
Love. Have you watched season 2 yet?
No, we're saving it up. We're going to wait until there's a shitload of good stuff on Apple and then get it for 1 month.
Just genuinely really fucking good. Like Mythic, the first season was like, this is a bit of fun. I'm enjoying this. And then they did the flashback episode to the two 90s video game designers. And that was just, it felt like it was straight out of Black Mirror. That episode, really fucking good.
It was kind of like an episode of Black Mirror where nothing too weird happens.
Yeah,
but it had that kind of tone to it.
And then in season 2, there's about 3-4 episodes with that kind of level of writing. Nice. And the quarantine episode's just fucking excellent as well. Like one of those just truly brilliant episodes.
And also that was by about week 3 of quarantine. I was absolutely fed up of special episodes of shows which are just the cast going on Zoom, and all that's interesting about it is, oh guys, we're on Zoom. Yeah. The only ones of those that were any good were that what's it called? What was it called? The thing with David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
Something like that.
Something like that. That was phenomenal. Both seasons of that. Both series of that. And that Mythic Quest episode. Yeah, which actually had something to say about the pandemic
at the end.
Quarantine and the effects
I was nearly crying.
People. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, really, really good. Well, not the very end. At the very end, I was cheering because what they do at the very end is fucking brilliant. Yeah. But just before that, I was quite sad. Very, very good. Though.
Recent arrival, Mythic Quest, but I think like it has some of those core components of what you need from a good workplace sitcom. It's got the workplace and the job is absolutely the driving force behind everything, and you just have this nice sort of it's a good way of getting a bunch of people who would in real life have nothing to do with each other in the same place at the same time.
And it means you've got a diverse range of characters in workplace,
which I think is a good segue into talking about the UK office.
I mean, do we want to start going down our top 5 lists?
I've already done like a top 5. I've just sort of done some that I like, but missed off ones that I know you guys. The UK office is definitely worth talking about because it didn't invent it, but it sort of felt like it rebooted the concept of the workplace sitcom.
Yeah, and actually, what you said about people being sort of almost thrust together is actually a direct quote, almost a direct quote. A sort of
it is, isn't it? From the
from Tim.
from the
Tim
Christmas
actually
special.
says, you don't choose who you work with, and yet you spend more time with them than you do your family.
Unless there's a pandemic on and everyone has to spend all day with their family, whether they want to
exactly.
or not.
Exactly. But for me, it is wonderful because, it's one of the first, and I think it is helped by the mockumentary style that it adopts, but it is one of the first sitcoms that I ever watched that I actually thought there don't seem to be that many sort of larger than life characters here.
Yeah, there's nobody too wacky.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, if you think about it, when it was out, it was one episode at a time. I mean, I never now watch The Office more than, less than, maybe 3 or 4 episodes in one sitting. So you get a lot of the sort of craziness of Brent and the stuff he does, over, you get much more. Whereas actually when it was first coming out on TV in episodic format, every week, I was sitting there listening, watching it, kind of thinking, oh, someone did something like that this week, or someone did something like that, or they told this awful joke, or something, and then the next week you'd be like, oh Christ, yeah, someone else did that this week, and all that sort of stuff. It made me. I think I loved it so much because it was so familiar, and at the time that it came out. When I was at university, I'd already experienced some time in offices and just felt at home. It was just like, it's perfect. Dawn and Tim looked so normal, but yet their chemistry was so vivid and clear. Brent was just I don't know, most of us have probably worked with someone like Brent in our life.
It was terrifyingly believable.
Yeah.
I did. I was doing a video. It was quite a while ago now, but it was just a fairly standard corporate, 2 people talking to each other video. But one of the guys was like, I think let's put some humour in this, and he literally said the word humour, and that immediately makes you think, Christ. And it was, it could have been Brent, and it's more Alan Partridge, but he did literally say the line at one point, and there's the humour. Which, so I had no option but to kill him at that point.
In my early 20s, I did a load of temping work, and I worked in this office. And the one thing you get used to if you do loads of temping work is fire safety regulations in different workplaces. This guy was amazing. So he was leading a few of us round, and he goes, right, so if there's a fire, don't go back for anything. Leave your wallet. I've got money. I can give you money if need be. And he goes, and he pointed at this guy wearing a denim jacket, going, don't go back for your expensive denim jacket. Leave it there. Just get out. I can buy you a new denim jacket. You are more important than your denim jacket. This is the way he was saying it, and everyone just looked. It was just as The Office was out, as when everyone was going, it's David Brent. This guy is David Brent. Unreal.
I love that episode, especially because he's very calm. He's sort of going, I like to do a fire drill, twice a year, and in the background, Gareth's like, everyone out, opening the doors, and then they pick up the girl in the wheelchair, and the cringe from that moment, the way him and Gareth talk to her, you all right? Well, don't worry, we'll get you out of here, as if she's some kind of frightened child and stuff like that, and then they try and lift her down the stairs, and they
leave.
They can't do it.
They just leave her on a landing, don't they?
Stuck in the stairwell. I mean, it's
one of my favourite things is when he points to Billy Big Mouth Bass, which is the thing that everyone thought was hilarious for precisely 1 minute, and then every time walks past it, yeah.
I mean, see, the thing is, though, obviously the show derives so much of its sort of pleasure value, I think, from the characters, and David Brent especially, as people say, not even Ricky Gervais has said, a lot of people say that he's the worst boss, but actually he's not. He's the best boss. He's the kind of guy that you only have to go for a pint with every couple of months, and he'll look after you and keep your job forever. The brilliance of Wernham Hogg as a workplace, a paper merchant. I mean, could there be anything more boring than a paper merchant in Slough with a warehouse downstairs and the salespeople upstairs? the first series was a lot better at actually showing them at work, especially Malcolm. Sort of, people were walking around the office getting paper and doing stuff and sending faxes, and it actually looked a bit more like a workplace in the first series. Which always kept it
such
quite
an old, if you look back now, it stresses me out how cluttered the office is, like the massive clunky CRT monitors and just stacks of paper everywhere. But that is exactly what my first office job looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. Before flat screens became, you'd have lovely mounts with 2 flat screens and things like that, that just save on space. Yeah, big. I mean, the moment that I saw Tim and Gareth fighting over that line between the desks, it sort of brought back like my first office jobs. People constantly go, well, keep that stuff on your side. Like, I don't want it spilling out onto my desk, because of course with the CRT monitors, you practically only had half a desk left.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I think that leads nicely to the American Office as well, which is, in my opinion, equally as good.
Yeah, people that just dismiss it out of hand because it's an American remake of something great that was British. Absolutely barking up the wrong tree. It's great. Yeah. First series is terrible because they were just trying to remake pretty much episode by episode, and it doesn't work. But they obviously, instead of just sacking it in, they obviously thought, I'm just going to do it the way it feels right for these versions of the characters, and it's brilliant.
It is really good. Michael Thomas is a completely different character from David Brent, for starters.
Yeah. So different, he's actually not even called that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Who's Michael Thomas?
Did I say Michael Thomas?
Yeah. Who is that?
Michael Thomas is a wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, there we go. I knew it would be.
Would
it have been a better show if he had been the boss?
Yeah, he'd have been good. Can't guard Mike. God, I can't. How did I didn't even notice I'd done that. Oh well. Michael Scott.
He's not just a clone of Brent, is he? Yeah. He's different. He's like Brent is a sort of needy narcissist, whereas Michael Scott basically is a child.
Yeah.
And just sort of needs to be loved.
Pretty perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
But
definitely,
he's not an arsehole in the same way that Brent could be.
Also, because of the nature of American TV series, we get to know all of the characters a lot better than we do in the British Office.
Yeah, that's it. You're like every single person in the office is a fully fleshed out character by the end of like the second series.
Yeah, syndicated seasons allow for far more. Sorry, much more is a phrase I hate. Far more development. Yeah, I mean, just touching very quickly on the difference between Brent and Scott, I think is definitely someone. I think someone said David Brent was actually shown to be quite a good manager. And he was, he obviously had done good things before the TV cameras showed up.
Yeah.
Because he lists off some of his achievements. Keeping profitability up while not losing a single member of staff, I think is one of my favourite ones. That's like a real sort of thing that you hear people spinning out all the time, like, I managed to keep profitability up without losing a single person. But Michael Scott apparently was an excellent salesperson who was very mistakenly promoted to a managerial position.
He was sort of promoted above his capabilities, wasn't he?
Just every now and then.
Which is a genuine thing that happens. People get promoted beyond their competence and then they start floundering.
Because every now and then he'll have a day where he does there's the one where Pam's got to take notes of everything he's doing within the day, and he appears to do nothing, and then at the end he hands her like a ticket for a sale he's made. He goes, "This is huge. When did you do this?" He goes, "I just did it." It's like, okay, so Michael Scott is a very good salesman is the point to all this. And he's not the worst boss in the world. Every now and then, it just takes him a while to find the right tone to approach things. Actually, I mean, he would be fired by now anyway. He's a pretty bad boss, but so is David Brent on that front. On an HR standpoint, they're both awful.
But also, just more broadly, a good 2/3 of characters in workplace sitcoms would get fired immediately. But if that happened, it'd be a very short show.
Fact, you will never work in another place like this again, and you will never have a boss like me, someone who's basically just a chilled out entertainer.
It's yeah, no, it's both are excellent and both don't get the love.
Also, the parkour episode is a personal favourite.
It just falls through the box, because you don't see it coming. You think, oh, okay, something's going to go wrong with the bin, because they're talking about this complicated route. So, like, off the box into the bin, forward roll, flip up the wall and over to the other side, and you think, well, this is not going to work. So you're expecting like it to just look really bad. It just falls straight through the box. That one and the one where Dwight is taking notes, like he's got the dictaphone.
Yeah.
And he's like, Michael Scott wanted me to record everything. Oh my God, Dwight, put your trousers back on. And then the way it ends with Andy just going, I am literally chopping Phyllis's head off with a chainsaw. Ring,
yeah, ring.
Jamie says he's never watched The Office. It's great. One? Like both, whichever one. They're both really good.
Oh, so much to explore.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Where do we want to go from here? Do we want to actually start going down some lists?
Yeah, can do.
Can do. I don't mind. I'm just thinking we got a lot of sitcoms to cover, and that might be the best way to do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Scrubs.
Scrubs? Is that number 5 then?
Okay, so yeah, if I'm going to go for number 5, then yeah, Scrubs for me is at number 5.
I mean, I get it. I'm just not the world's biggest Scrubs fan, but I understand why people love it so much.
Yeah, but hence why it's at number 5 for me. Because when I was first told about it, my mate at university said, "Oh, you're going to love this. It's basically like," he said, "it's basically like a comedy version of ER," which actually completely missells it, because it's. I thought, okay, so it's like a just comedy version of a medical drama, but actually, it's from my point of view, it's so much more than that. And there are some really defining characters. The first series is still the best for me because it's the shaky, nervous interns, and I feel like that is a really nice way. Oh, sorry.
Have I gone?
No, you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, you have frozen slightly. Oh no, okay. Sorry, I just think the first series is the best because they're all nervous, shaky interns.
Yeah.
They're all taking their first strides, and it introduces, before everything got a bit wacky in the later series, like Dr. Cox as the really tough sort of guy with a heart, Dr. Kelso as the uncaring chief of medicine, Zach Braff. I'm not the biggest Zach Braff fan, but I think he was great as JD. I love.
Yeah, he's good in that kind of role.
His relationship with Turk as well is just really, really good.
It's beautiful. It's lovely, and to be fair, it's like it's so great that it's a proper bromance on TV. It's two guys who just love each other so much. Like they're just such great friends. They know each other's bodies. Like not just like in what they find each other funny, but they literally know each other's bodies. It's hilarious. I thought Sarah Chalk was great in it. The actress who what's her name, Judy. I can't remember what her name is. Her last name is, but Judy, who plays Carla, fabulous. Like such a great actress. Kills some scenes. There's a brilliant episode where her and Dr. Cox and the rest of the gang are trying to keep these transplant patients alive. And this really dramatic, and it's a really amazing scene at the end where Dr. Cox is trying to keep this last patient alive after they've been given a transplant that they didn't know were infected with rabies. So they got all these transplant organs, managed to transplant them into people, and then only after that found that they were from a patient who had unknowingly had rabies. And their screening had missed it, and so they're trying to keep these people alive, and all of them die, and Dr. Cox takes it so hard, and the next couple of episodes are all about the characters trying to bring him out of this kind of depression, but with humor, and it was always handled so wonderfully, and they used music really well, but everything was laced with the hospital, Sacred Heart, which was actually personified as a creature itself in one episode, which was called My Monster. The hospital was actually personified as a monster with the eyes being sort of windows open and lights on and all the other ones off, that sucks the joy out of life, and them saying you can't let your workplace suck the life out of you. You have to put your life to one side when you're here. And I always really loved that sentiment. It's great.
For me, it doesn't. It's not ER. For me, it's closer to MASH. Like in tone, like in the sense that you're going to laugh, and then at the end you're going to feel bad about laughing, and that's fine for a couple of seasons, but towards the end I'm just like kind of done with this now. Just this the way it's the emotional roller coaster that it takes me on isn't one that I was particularly enjoying by the end of the series.
Interesting,
because it's fine to do that every now and then, but it was every episode.
I think it went on a bit
You're gonna laugh,
too
you're gonna
long,
laugh, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna feel bad about laughing. Like, yeah. That began to get a bit annoying. But when it was good, it was pretty much unrivaled, I think. It is very, very good. Nice. And the characters are all amazing as well. The closest I think that something's gone with the characters is Brooklyn Nine-Nine for me, in terms of just like, I like all these characters. Every character in this I think is really good.
Yeah.
So, where's that on your list? Or are we going to get to that later?
Who knows?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really like ranked stuff, but I mean, Brooklyn, it is.
Okay, let's just go through 5 each then.
It's like staying strong. It's not really dipped in quality, and it's been going quite a while now. I wouldn't say there's been like that's the crap season bit for Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
They've in every season they've had the same Halloween episode, pretty much, and it never gets boring in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, that's
excited to watch that
they
episode
must sort of dread the heist episodes now, because it's hard to constantly top them for sort of them still being interesting and having a like they have to have a point, a sort of a story point, rather than just being a cool heist. So they've managed to keep doing it. It's
and they've had to make it interesting who wins it as well every time.
Yeah, the one where Gina comes back and wins it with her teeth coming out is brilliant. Fuck it, Luther! And I love the episodes with Bill. Bill is one of the guy that looks almost exactly like Charles. Neck massages from the front with 100% eye contact.
Where's my eye contact, Bill?
Yeah.
Couple of comments on the stream. Jamie says, loved Scrub, never thought of it as a workplace sitcom, but it very much is. It very much is. Dan says, agreed, first series of Scrubs is the best.
Oh, nice.
I think they probably just needed 2 or 3 series less of Scrubs and it would have been fine.
Can I Yeah, sorry. Go on. No, you go on.
Are you about to be controversial?
No, I was just about to say, the last season of Scrubs, not great.
No.
The previous 2 series, the ones that came after the series that was cut short because of the writer's strike, which I think was series 6 and 7, were not brilliant, but had a couple of really nice episodes. There was a really nice one where JD and his brother reconnect and go and visit his JD's son Sam. And I think there's the farewell episode for JD features one of the best sort of series wrapping up montages ever. You can watch it. Basically, just type into YouTube Scrubs: The Book of Love. It's a brilliant use of Peter Gabriel's The Book of Love version of The Book of Love, and really nice kind of flash forward to kind of how their lives kind of turn out after that. And then series 8 was like this fucking mental new characters. It was a real punt, like, maybe we can get one, a few more series out of this, but
they did the same with another show that might be on this list, but we'll get to that potentially in a bit. Maybe. If not, then the answer was Teachers. So can I potentially throw maybe a weird one out there, and you can tell me whether this is a sitcom or not, and I will go with what you guys say, and if not, then I've got another answer already. Okay? Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
I mean...
Yeah, I think it is.
It's a work...
Because technically it's the workplace, but it's very much a documentary about them filming Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
I think it's like pushing at the edges of the genre a bit, but I think that qualifies as a workplace sitcom. And a very good one.
Well, then it's definitely on my list.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
I mean, funnily enough, it's actually like, I mean, obviously it's not meant to be a sitcom. No. Like the show within a show is actually meant to be a serious sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi horror series, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Stephen King. But yeah, do you know what? I think probably, like Russ says, pushes the boundaries, but it's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
It's playing
because
with
then we
the
get to talk
form.
about Skipper the Eye Child.
Because of how it's filmed, it still
Blasting him
holds up
with a
as well.
shotgun at the end.
Yeah. It's the bit of the head on the floor. I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been so much
and
fun
obviously
to make.
blood, and little bits of sick.
Yeah. Blood of broken glass.
Would you like an egg on soup?
Goddamn son of a bitch.
It's so good, and it still holds up. Like I regularly watch clips of that, and because of how it's filmed, because they did such an authentic take on like a mid-80s horror TV series.
But they put a
still
lot of
kinda looks
effort
all right.
into getting it to look bad.
Yeah,
Like the way they deliberately, there's extras standing in, there's continuity errors and extras standing in the wrong place, and like microphones dipping into shot, and like the
hair
audio
changes.
sounds like it's recorded with different microphones from scene to scene, and like obvious replacement vocals and things.
Matt Berry in particular, his overdubbing is so ridiculously obvious at
and
times.
you get
as well.
him standing on the hospital roof playing a saxophone into the night.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it's epitomised by knowing that, like, back in the day, they had to make kind of, sort of budget savings in terms of like, well, that's the script, and this is what's actually going to happen budget-wise. And like, there's that moment, I think, in the first or second episode with the telekinesis, when it goes, there's a cordless iron sort of moving on its own, and he goes, oh no, it's a cordless iron coming right towards us. And as it floats past, you can clearly see the wire with the plug. Like, as it goes past, it's just like, it's the real kind of like the compromises that they had to make on low budget TV shows in one little vignette right there.
I think that was the first thing I'd seen Matt Berry in.
I think it was mine as well. Yeah,
that was before the Mighty Boosh, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I just when you realize, no, that actually is what he sounds like in real life.
Did you see he put a picture up of his toast hair? So yeah, for another season. of
Funny enough, actually, Mighty Boosh. Would you call that a workplace sitcom?
Yeah,
because it's set in a zoo, the first series, and then the Boo's curios.
It is.
They are Boo's shop. I don't know. I don't know if the zoo is sort of central enough. Question mark.
But Vince, you said you wanted to help the animals. I do want to help them. I want to help them to die.
I used to hate.
You took me out of school.
I think I need to go back
GCSEs
and
were
rewatch
useless.
it because,
Yeah.
To be so on my list, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place would be. Do you reckon? What you got, Tom?
Oh, is it my go or is it Russ's go?
Russ had Brooklyn Nine-Nine, didn't you? No, you didn't.
It doesn't really matter, but whatever.
No, you go, Russ. It's fine.
Okay, well, again, this might be a question mark, but Fawlty Towers.
No, it's not a question mark at all.
No, it's my. In fact, it's at my number one. Actually, it's Fawlty Towers.
It's on my list as well. Yeah, like it is. I mean, the hotel is a central character in it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, nobody involved would have used the phrase workplace sitcom, but. I think it's just a little capsule of perfection. Yeah.
They don't spend any time outside of that hotel either. Well, virtually no time out of that hotel.
I think there's one... Isn't there like one scene outside? The bit where he's beating the car with the branch isn't in the hotel, is it? And like he goes to that restaurant to pick up the... Was it the duck à l'orange?
Salad.
Yeah.
But...
it's the duck à l'orange, isn't it?
It's like 99% in the hotel.
Yeah.
You can't put no riffraff on the advert.
One of my favourite episodes is the Hotel Inspectors.
Yes.
It's
Spoons.
Spoons. I just love that. It's like
smacks him on the head with the spoon.
You're a waste of space. It's so nice.
Magic.
It's so clever. Because that is and Basil the rat. Basil the rat.
Put Basil in the Ratatouille.
It's Noray's hamster.
He put Basil in the Ratatouille. Yeah.
God, it's so
It's
good.
pedigree.
Yeah, Basil Fawlty is just such a great character as well. And the best thing about them is none of them are, apart from Manuel, none of them, like, even Holly has her moments where she's a little too... Polly, not Holly, yes.
Polly.
Polly. Fuck Holly. Has moments where she's a little too sarcastic. And it's... Whereas Manuel's just genuinely just trying to do his best, really.
Yeah.
But Sybil and Basil are both quite unlikable. Because you kind of understand what Basil's talking about, because she doesn't seem to do anything. But at the same time, he goes about it entirely the wrong way. It's such a great show that these two people just absolutely seem to hate each other. But
and almost all of the stress that he goes through is entirely self-inflicted.
100%. It's entirely his fault, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It is good though, isn't it? It's like, but you know that you can tell that it was their decision to open a hotel that has caused the rift in the marriage. Like, and they've obviously been doing it for a long time. Because it's sort of revealed, isn't it? He was a member of the catering corps in the British Army. So, and she's just, I don't know, whatever she is. Maybe she was always like a hotelier or something like that. But just the way he deals with the episode with the deaf lady with the hearing aid that she never turns on to save battery.
Yeah,
it's like you meet people like that. It was so wonderfully observed, and it was great.
And it throughout that whole episode, it's the whole like he's shouting, and then he starts like it takes a while for him to learn to shout at her because of her hearing aid, and then she's got it turned on when he just comes in immediately shouting.
Yeah,
like that is interactions that nearly everyone has had one point or another. I think not necessarily exactly that, but I requested a sea view. What were you expecting? Herd of wildebeest sweeping majestically across the plain, the hanging gardens of Babylon. This is Torquay.
The Major is also brilliant as well, especially the dismissive way that when he wanders off, Basil just kind of goes, God, he started early. Or drunken old sod.
The line that sums it all up is, satisfied customer, we should have him stuffed.
Yeah.
like he clearly hates everyone that stays at his hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, like, obviously there's elements of it that are, problematic when viewed through today's lens. You would not make it now.
No.
But it's magnificent.
Very good. Yep, Fawlty Towers.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. In fact, there's not a weak episode in the entirety series.
Can I mention something that kind of links in, I think, that is...
Please do.
Maybe a spiritual success to Fawlty Towers, Black Books.
Oh.
Yeah, I went through a phase of being incredibly obsessed with Black Books.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Black Books is amazing. Like, you don't... If you work in retail, you don't aspire to be Bernard Black, but damn do you respect him. Like, he just gets away with everything he wants in his shop, basically. That you just can't do.
His attitude is like, oh, why do they come here? Why do they bother me?
Yeah.
Like, well, they want to buy books. Yeah, but why me? Why do they come here?
Yes.
You run a bookshop, Bernard. Yeah, I know.
I do love that episode where he goes into a sort of a despair-filled drinking binge, and it's Manny, isn't it? Manny, played by Bill Bailey, finds him
Manny come home
precariously suspended between a table and a pile of books, like his head on the table and his feet on the end on this pile of books. It's fucking brilliant.
Pieces of my brain are falling away like a wet cake.
Yeah.
I just love their relationship in general. The idea that people actually want to buy the books and he is such a curmudgeon that no one wants to go in there when he's in there. But people do want to go in and have a look at the books and buy books. Like there's an episode where he goes away and Manny sells every book. And he goes, well, I have to order new books now. He picks up the phone, dials a random number. Hi, I'd like some books. Thank you. It's kind of, it kind of makes me laugh. Like it's meant to, isn't it? It's a sitcom. But I love Black Books a lot.
Again, though, very, very good dynamic. You know, the workplace is central. Yeah. Bernard sees that whole sort of bookshop as his own kind of personal library.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what was Fran, played by Tamsin Green, isn't it? Her and Manny are constantly trying to get him to make improvements. You know, it's a really simple setup. Constantly trying to make him, bring him into the 20th century. Constantly trying to pull him in. That time that Manny leaves, Bernard's life collapses in on itself, and Fran gets them back together, and it's just it's perfect. 3 really well developed characters, a really simple setting, and it just it's perfect.
Working at the chain next door, isn't he?
Yeah,
for Simon Pegg. Yeah, and she's in the little Wendy house. I'm not leaving. I love it. It's Black Books is great, and I think that hits the nail on the head. He obviously decided to open a bookshop because he wanted to sit around reading books, drinking wine all day. And he genuinely sees the customers as an inconvenience to that. Both likable and dislikable, unlikable, I suppose. But their friendship between the 3 of them is genuinely quite good. But his friendship with Fran is generally quite good. His friendship with Manny is a bit problematic, but when he talks about Dave syndrome,
weirdly kind of like codependent, abusive relationship that they have. Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I like that Manny was an accountant that Bernard basically got drunk with and offered a job.
Because he swallowed the little book of calm.
I got you creme de menthe.
Yeah, and then what Fran used? Fucking hell, what's the shop called? It was that she was
Nifty
Gifty.
Yeah.
And that was at the time where there were like all those shops that just sold weird shit.
Not quite head shops, lamps. but yeah. But just things that you thought you need. Cheap ornaments, basically.
There was that one. The one in St Albans was called Rockets.
Rocket, yeah. And we were in there all the fucking time, Russ.
Yeah. I'm going to get myself a little fibre optic lamp thing.
Yeah.
And an hourglass with weird coloured sand in.
I went to London to get my lava lamp. I wanted one so badly. It was purple and blue. Lovely. It was really nice.
Lovely.
Probably somewhere still. Couple of comments. Dan says, if Garth Marenghi is a workplace sitcom, then Mighty Boosh definitely is. I agree.
Yeah, I think it probably is, isn't it?
Yeah. He says he's had a boss like Bernard Black. Says he ran a collectibles store in Camden Market and would frequently close the store and throw people out because he hated the window shopping.
Brilliant.
Got to respect that. Right. What else we got?
Who's next?
The one. Who said Black Books? I said Black Books, didn't I? So yeah, Russ, I suppose.
Me?
Yeah.
So one I've enjoyed a lot recently is Stathlet's Flats on Channel 4. Have you seen that one?
Oh, is it good? I've never watched it.
Oh, it's very good. It's very
never watched it.
Very good. It's Jamie Demetriou and his sister's in it as well. Tash Demetriou, she's in
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows, yeah. She's Christ, what's her name? She's the female vampire in What We Do in the Shadows. But it's just like it's a workplace sitcom set in a letting agency in London, but it's just fucking brilliant. It's very sort of sweet and funny in not too nauseating a way. And actually linked to that, do you remember it was only one series, a sitcom called The Estate Agents?
You have talked about this before and I have never watched it.
It's brilliant. Not many people saw it. I don't think it was very popular.
Yeah.
But it was magnificent and quite weird and dark.
Yeah. You said it got quite weird, so
It
I remember that much.
oh Christ, what's his name? It had that guy in it. He did some other stuff. You know the one I mean.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So those would be
That
my letting/estate agency recommendations for workplace sitcoms.
Nice.
But yeah, Stathis should be on all 4 or whatever the hell they're calling it these days. And that is, there's only 2, I think, series of it. Definitely give that a go. It's really, really good.
I need something in the run up to Ted Lasso season 2, so I'll give that a watch. Tom?
Yeah, there's not too much of it, so you can bash through it pretty quickly. But it is very, very good. And I'm pretty sure that the first flat I rented was from that place. Or somebody who ran it in a similar way.
So I would. So basically, on my list, I've got The Office UK, which I've already spoken about, but I want to throw in a couple of quick fires if I can, because I know we're sort of getting to the sort of nearly 10 o'clock. So I want to just throw 2 quick fires your way. First of all, Parks and Recreation, which I know we should talk about at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Parks and Recreation, big one for me. And the other one, it's literally just escaped my mind. Oh, Phone Shop.
Yes! Phone Shop needs to be talked about, because Phone Shop is fucking brilliant.
So I'm going to go for Phone Shop.
I was going to go Phone Shop as well. That was going to be my next choice, so yeah.
Phone Shop is great.
Phone Shop is
Respect the bear. They keep talking me. Teddy Fuckspin.
I mean,
even Games Workshop taking the piss out of me.
Yeah. I mean, there's that excellent moment where they're both talking about how, how it's embarrassing that they can't afford to go to M&S and buy their lunch. There's that brilliant thing.
Used to get a meal deal.
Teriyaki rice bowl, throw in a packet of Percy Pig, some cashew nuts, shove them all in put them in a bag to life, like eat some of it, put the rest in, and throw that
senseless waste.
Away. Senseless waste. And that bit where they're talking about the bald spot on his head, like just, is it getting bigger? Mr. Wise, the owl. I want to, but you have to ask Mr. Wise. Who's Mr. Wise? It's not our dad in the dad having a wank in the cupboard with a video camera. No, it's a tattoo of an owl.
Owl. Owl. The guy who does the sanitary towel bin that gets engaged to Janine and tells her that he is a businessman. That's amazing. Raz Prince, the best character in it. Freeze, motherfuckers! T to the A to the A to the T to the A to the B to the B to the A to the R to the D to the S. Tabards, get some cleaning going.
Get some cleaning going, boys. Reach for that gold.
What do you think he's doing now? By now, I think he's probably up to gold. Reach for that gold. Touch that gold. You can't touch that gold.
It's not your fucking gold. It's not your fucking gold. It's a fibre, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does capture something. Like phone shops do. They're not quite. They're all a bit too corporatified now. But like back when there was like Phones for You and Carphone Warehouse branches, they did have this weird air of like the people that worked in them were basically the same age as you were. And drove a third-hand Renault 5, but they would act like they were sort of world-leading salespeople. I think it was because they were allowed to wear suits rather than uniforms.
We had a phone shop in my shop at the time that Phone Shop was on. And it was one of those, they fucking loved Phone Shop, the two of them that worked there. Because they were like, this is just an accentuated version of working in a phone shop, essentially. And it was amazing. It was something we'd always like when Phone Shop was on. Did you watch Phone Shop last night? Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah. What's the other Raz Prince one?
The unexpected.
And he goes, we're like a family. Lance, Jermaine, they're your brothers. Janine, she's your sister. And not Lance, no, Lance, and Lance is your dad. Lance is your dad. Jermaine and I can't remember the other guy's name, and they're your brothers, and I'm your dad. But I thought Lance was my dad. I'm your real dad.
I'm your real dad.
I'm the one that comes over when your mum wants to feel all right.
Yeah. I'm your uncle. I'm always round. And when your dad's not in, helping her put up a shelf, making your mum feeling all right. You know what I'm saying?
He's such a great character. Hit and you're dead.
Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself.
Not you, Nan. You're all right. What? So you pay as you go? Well, fuck off now. Oh God, I love Phone Shop. I might have to watch that again now.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of Phone Shop, isn't there? Like 4 or 5
seasons.
series.
Yeah,
three series. Yeah.
Yeah. When someone calls Lance boring, and he's sitting there smoking weed with a little streak in his hair to the QI theme tune.
So
Bit of the ragger.
But the elite selling crew. They don't exist.
But if they did
They
exist.
just exist. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good. I love Phone Shop. Cool.
I've only got
well.
on the rewatch list.
Oh, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I say, and any Raz Prince episodes, just well known. There's only a few of them, but he's one.
Yeah,
of the
they
best
are very
characters.
good. One of them ends up with them covering his Audi TT in dildos.
Well, because they go to the club night.
Yeah.
It's a wet t-shirt competition. It's it's sexy, but it's thoughtful or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, with chicken in a basket for $5.99 or something like that.
A fight,
it's a Welsh guy.
A fight, a wedding, or your money back.
Yeah, and him and Janine have that wicked banter conversation, and she's like, "You wouldn't know what to do with my stuff," and he's like, "I know, but I'd have a fucking good go."
Oh, you out bantered me.
Yeah. And it calls that's where the word is original. Oh dear.
Oh yeah, no, the Respect the Bear episode where they've got the coffee, and it just goes crazy. Oh, so good.
For anyone interested, the England-Denmark match has ended in a draw, and we are now up to 30 minutes of extra time. For anyone interested,
I doubt anyone watching us is probably interested. We're probably the most interested, if I'm honest. But yeah,
fair dues. Right,
is this the point at which England lose on penalties in the Euros? Because that's sort of tradition.
Maybe. So we got a few more quick ones if you want.
So I put in Archer as a firm workplace sitcom.
Archer, yeah.
Despite all the sort of spy trappings and stuff, at its core, it's a bunch of bickering workmates.
Yeah, it really is. I completely agree.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Cheers. I don't think we can not mention Cheers. Cheers is
definitely a workplace sitcom. Even that, like,
and
I think it fits. Even though most of the people in it don't actually work there, I think it's still.
Yeah.
I think it still fits in the same way, like in Community, they're not employees, but I think it still broadly works as a workplace.
Still a workplace.
Sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Full-time education is, I think, almost like a sort of a workplace. I think it's sort of borderline. Can I just say quickly on Archer? It always escapes me, but I sometimes remember that the place they work is called ISIS.
Yeah.
Was it? And it stands for, I just saw it, International Secret Intelligence Service. ISIS. So it's brilliant.
It is good.
The dog in Downton Abbey was called ISIS as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like a Egyptian. It's from there's some sort of ancient mythology reference.
Any more? We've got some from the listeners / viewers, if you like.
Go for it.
Hit us.
I mean, there are loads. We're obviously just talking about some of our favourites here.
Okay, so Dan says Green Wing.
Green Wing was good.
Yeah,
really good.
Excellent.
Back when Channel 4 just
weird.
went, make it weirder.
Yeah.
To everything they did, it was really good.
It really worked.
It was very clever. I do remember one episode starting with a musical rendition of "Tainted Love," didn't it? With played on one of those little meep meep.
A stylophone.
Yeah, one of those things. And Guy dancing in wearing these like sort of linen trousers, and then him sidling up to someone after the sort of musical intro finished, just going, "Can you see my cock in these trousers?" Just yeah, I better go home then.
Slightly questionable one. Red Dwarf. Now it was brought up that Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
They're not doing any work.
I think. Yeah. I don't think that's a workplace sitcom. I don't know what it is, but I don't. If they were
sci-fi show, Russ.
It is a sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work if you didn't have spaceships and something.
Absolutely,
to get him,
we're not getting into this. We haven't got time.
If you didn't have a way of getting him 3 million years into the future and being the only human left alive, the whole show collapses. But yeah, I don't think it's a workplace sitcom because they're not doing their jobs anymore, really, are they?
No. Dave also says they're the British Empire.
God, that was amazing.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
So silly. Jamie says hello, hello.
Oh, the cafe.
Yeah.
I mean, against the backdrop of World War II.
Maybe, yeah, but it probably is actually, yeah, because it's kind of all around the cafe, isn't it?
Dan also mentioned Archer. Thin Blue Line was mentioned as well.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Definitely a workplace sitcom. Not very funny.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't very
right.
good. It was a bit rubbish.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
Do you remember Drop the Dead Donkey?
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Was great.
That is excellent. The writers always said that the script and the filming was happening almost within a couple of weeks of transmission. So the events they were talking about were always quite up to the minute, kind of cutting edge. That is a really good one, actually. And my dad would be absolutely livid that I hadn't put Drop the Dead Donkey on my list, because he and I and he and me, we used to watch that together all the time.
Jamie mentioned Father Ted. It is.
I mean, it's Craggy Island parochial house, isn't it?
I suppose it is. I think because their workplace is also sort of where they live. Like, I don't know if it quite counts, because you never actually see them in a church.
What about Vicar of Dibley?
Kind of likewise.
Yeah, that's kind of what
more
I was thinking.
about her personal life.
True. Jamie also mentions Lower Decks. I've never seen it, but I can imagine that is probably the case.
I've seen that one. Do you know what I would chuck in? Because I don't know if we talked about it or not, but like The Thick of It and Veep, but the pre-runner to those, Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister.
Yes,
was
very true.
Yeah, very good.
Amazing stuff.
And while we're at it, Thick of It, because Thick of It is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I can't actually believe we haven't mentioned that. I mean, not very laugh out loud. I mean, there are. I mean, not almost not light. Sorry, what I'm trying to say is not light-hearted comedy. In fact, very black, because you're watching it thinking, I have no assurances that this isn't how the government operates, on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it's becoming quite clear that they're never going to do anything again, because they have been outdone by the actual government, like in terms of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been you just can't make something like The Thick of It, because it would just seem like, if you watch it back now, you think, yeah, but at least they're not actually like. I think I would rather have this lot in charge.
Yeah,
they're sort of vaguely trying to do the right thing at some points.
Yeah, Jamie McDonald is. I mean, Malcolm Tucker is amazing. I think one of the brilliant character creations of all time. But Jamie McDonald, his sort of even more rabid, aggressive press officer counterpart.
Are you a horse?
Yeah. I mean, in the film, in The Loop, he is he's phenomenal. The first time you meet him, he just sort of walks in and he does this brilliant sort of monologue when he's talking to them about the builders that they've tried to get in, because there's a wall collapsing in this minister's constituency. And he goes, well, look, the guy that plays Ollie, I think, plays a guy called Toby in that film. And he kind of goes, well, look, we called some builders, they failed to show up. And Jamie just goes, well, what did you expect? They're builders. Where you've never seen a superhero who's a builder, have you? Huh? Bat builder, spider builder? No, because you're never going to see a fucking superhero with a hod, because they never turn up in the nick of time. It's fucking
Very true.
Genius.
It's so good. Yeah, Jamie and Malcolm. Still, one of my favourite moments is the assistant as Malcolm's off on one coming out. Go, Malcolm, do you know how to fix a paper jam? And the way he just turns around and just, I don't know, kill a kid now until it starts working, and then walks off.
Yeah.
Steptoe and Ton.
Oh, old school.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
really old school.
Yeah, I think that works.
But definitely a workplace comedy.
Exactly, yeah. Jamie's also brought up Bodger and Badger.
Is it a sitcom though? I mean, it's a kid's sitcom, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Phone Shop was mentioned as well by Dan. Well done.
Yeah, Phone Shop. Good addition.
And then last ones. Actually, it's not true. We've got a few more. People have actually contacted us about this. So that's nice. Always Sunny in Philadelphia was brought up again. The British Empire again. Desmond's was brought up.
I never really watched that.
I don't remember that.
It was good. Yeah, it took place. It was very good. Extras. And then once again, we were asked about the Vicar of Dibley.
Extras is a tricky one because it's different. It's a different workplace and a different set of supporting characters each time. But yeah, it's probably really kind of stretching the definition.
Yeah.
Of because it doesn't have a fixed workplace. So although it's about him doing his job, there is no workplace really. So I think that's probably a no for it to be a sitcom.
Adam brings up Scrubs, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Superstore, which we haven't actually mentioned yet. He's really good. Well worth watching. Yeah. I really liked it. And then Adama brings up Fawlty Towers, Red Dwarf, who's mentioned again. And there we have it.
Nice.
Very nice.
But yeah,
I've got to say that was
current. Yeah, Superstore definitely worth watching. Mythic Quest is fantastic. Yeah. Ted Lasso, new series coming
Ted
soon.
Lasso is brilliant. But Mythic Quest is brilliant, and Superstore is one of those ones where you go, well, it's just a bit throwaway, isn't it? And then you get to an episode where they are talking about the problems.
So quickly.
Yeah, talking about the problems of like how people that work in retail don't get maternity leave in America, and they're going quite in depth on it, and it is very good. And there's an episode where they talk about forming a union. Like, this isn't some throwaway TV series like Big Bang Theory. It's really good.
Fair dues. Nice to get a little sideswipe in there at Big Bang Theory. Yeah. Well, look, that was a really nice deviation, actually. I really like it when we do something out of the blue like that. Believe it or not, that was an idea that was suggested by Russ probably, an hour or so before we went on
Not long
air?
ago. It was while I was putting the kids to bed, so it's not that long ago.
Very nice. I like that. A little bit of spontaneity. Very nice and sparky. And I hope
we plan thoroughly, always.
Always.
We've already got next week's episode planned.
Have we? Yeah. No, we haven't. No. Well, it'll be all right on the night. That's how we do it. If you've got any more additions,
we're now going to end up talking about our favourite episodes of "It Will Be All Right on the Night" with Dennis Norden.
Yeah.
I used to fucking love that show.
Yeah. Apparently, during all of the live filmings of the episodes of Bottom, if ever he fucked up or they had a night where they were fucking up, but particularly often, Rick Mail would often say "Happy Christmas, Dennis Norden" after he fucked up, because of course that's all Dennis Norden's there for, is to stand there with a clipboard. Did you know the next one? Anyway, that was my Dennis Norden impression. It was fucking shit. If you enjoy workplace sitcoms, let us know about it. Hit us up on our social media feeds: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the handle @TMTOOH. And you can interact with us. If you want to interact with us even more, you can head to our Discord server, which the link to which you will find in our Instagram bio, where you can join in the conversation and play some games that will become your life for a bit, where you earn virtual money doing virtual dodgy things. Anyway, Dan, what's upcoming on the other pods that you are doing? We've been
somewhat absent because things got in the way. Life gets in the way. life finds a way sometimes. And we were like, so what we'll do is we'll wait till Loki's over, and then we'll just do one big roundup of Loki. And then the last couple of episodes of Loki have been genuinely, I think, two of the best episodes of any of these Marvel TV series so far.
I've not seen the latest one yet. Looking forward to that.
It's so fucking good. I'm absolutely loving it. So we're going to do a one prior to the last episode. Then we're going to do a roundup of the series. But also, we're going to do our Fast and Furious 9 review as well. So stay tuned for that. We still haven't done that yet. It's a film.
Family.
It's certainly a thing.
It exists. Yep.
That's a film. Cool. Well, there we go. It's nothing really left for us to say except for, as I said, interact with us if you want to. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching on the stream. Wave at them. That's why they're here. Wave. And also, thanks very much for listening to us as well. We really, really appreciate it. And also, all those listens that we've been getting, really appreciate that. Thank you. Do keep listening. We'll try and keep the quality up as high as we fucking can. Russ, goodbye.
Latest taters.
Dan, goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me, Tom. And on that note, let's cue the music.